Alright, so to get started, first I'm gonna cd into where I want my demo to be made, and I'm gonna just copy all of the code provided to first create a AI mono repository, change into that directory, and then create a setup.sh file. You'll see why we do this in just a sec. I'm going to open my IDE. I'm a VS Code person. I'm going to open the terminal later. Alright, okay. To get started quickly, we provide a shell script that will download all of the files that you need for this project. So if you just paste that here, and then you have to make the shell script an executable, and then you just execute the script. And with that, all of the files that you need are created. Just to quickly walk you through, source will have all of our Python code and some Bazel Starlock code. Bazel RC is a configuration file that will plug into native link. Our environment variable stores our environment keys. Here you'll have to input your API key, make sure it's surrounded by double quotes. And here's a flag that we'll use later in the demo. It basically authorizes the programs to use your API key. Then we also have a gitignore file. Then our Bazel requirements log file will contain all of the packages that we need. The build file at the project root simply makes this environment file accessible to every single Python module contained in source. Module.bazel just tells Bazel that, hey, this is where the project starts from, this is the languages that will be working, and so on. Alright, so going back to the demo, we did this, we did that, we have this directory created. Now we'll set up our requirements file. So if you just click this arrow, copy everything that's contained there, go to your Bazel requirements lock, the txt, and paste it there. You're all set up with this file. Let's close that again. You don't need Git tracking for this project. I just like to use it. It just helps me track my progress better. So for my git ignore, these are the files that go. dst only goes for Mac. Then we already did this. Now for the root build file, we'll just copy this code, go to the build file, and then just paste it there, and that's all this file will need. Again, it just has one job: make this environment file accessible to every single file in the repository. Perfect. And lastly, this is the code for module.bazel file. We just go over here. This tells Bazel that, hey, we're using Python. This tells Bazel that, hey, we want Python 3.13 particularly. And this tells Bazel that, hey, just use pip to resolve all of the dependencies. And if you want to find the exact versions, look here. Alright, that concludes the initial setup. Now we move on to configuring remote execution. This is really a one-step thing. You just copy all of the code here into the Bazel RC section, and you just paste it into your Bazel RC. So a couple of things. You'll have to replace this with your username, this, and then you need to input your native link API key. These first 5 build configurations deal with remote caching. This deals with remote execution, and this deals with testing configurations. More on this later. If you just use native link cloud, their default Docker image is the bare minimum Ubuntu image, so you will need to install packages. For this project, you could create your own Docker image made from the requirements log file, but it took 4.5 hours to create, which is why we made the image that we use for this demo free to use for everyone. And for that, all you need to do is uncomment this. We don't need that. And then you are done. And I'm gonna now come back after setting up all of my native link configs in my Bazel RC file.